Welcome to Lighting the Way, Granny Raps and Rocks. This is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks.
And this is James Maynard, otherwise known as Sweet Baby James. I'm handling the chat tonight, and you have come to Lighting the Way with Granny Raps and Rocks. And tonight's topic is Let's All Be Woke, Reclaiming the Word.
This is not so much a political show as it is a consciousness program, right? We are going to be talking about the word woke and how it's used and what it really means and why we all need to be woke. You know what I mean? Wake up, humanity.
Right. That's right.
So James is going to handle the chat, which means that if you are here live and he can hear what you have to say, then he can tell me and then I can respond, right?
Yeah.
And if doesn't happen when we're on live, I will respond later. And we have a comment.
Yes, Catalina says hi, and she sends a heart of love. Back at you, Catalina.
Hello. Okay. You know, for the longest time, I didn't know what the word woke meant.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, what are they talking about? And we have another one.
Oh, Elizabeth says hello there, and she sends a heart and also warm feelings.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Catalina. So I'm looking at this word. I'm thinking, why is there a war on woke? Why isn't there a war for woke or against unwoke? Because woke means, right, you woke up.
That's right. Yeah.
We've been sleeping, guys, on so many levels. And some people are waking up. Not too many, but...
Oh, and Karen says, hi, you two, and sends a couple of hearts of friendly love.
You know, I shouldn't say that there aren't many people who are waking. There's a lot of people who are waking up in different ways. Oh, my goodness, we have
and
more.
Vino says, gives us a big thumbs up.
Hi,
Thank you, Vino.
We hardly ever see you live. How delightful.
Wonderful.
To see, and also,
to have
Karen,
you with
we'd
us.
love to see you live. So, anyway, so it's really crazy. Should we tell the human race to go back to sleep?
No.
I mean, think about it. Really. The problem is we are not woke enough. Oh, it looks like we have a comment. Oh, there's a translation.
Nashat says, morning of light, love, and joy.
Oh, and the
same for you.
Same to you. So I want to talk about awareness, because being woke means being aware, and he's got a cute...
And Nashat sends a cute, happy puppy and hearts of love.
Ooh,
and Tracy says hi from Tracy and Jane. Yay.
Hi,
hello,
Tracy.
hello.
Thank you, Nashat. And
love to you both.
Love to you, Tracy. And Jane, it is fabulous to have you with us tonight, because Jane doesn't come very often. And I don't care how often you come. We always love seeing you. So you've come here to support this message. I'm really glad. So, you know, the word woke is starting to have a feeling like it's an insult. You know, Isn't that incredible when you think about the meaning of being awake and aware? Why are we insulting people for trying to be aware, right? That doesn't make any sense. So I want to talk about 5 levels of awareness and why we often don't like that.
Oh.
And why we should reclaim the word woke and stop trying to be defensive about it. You know, this is not about taking a particular political perspective. It's about taking an awareness perspective, right?
Yeah.
Most people are pretty asleep. I mean, let's be honest with it. We're pretty asleep. You know, if we weren't asleep before, we start overeating, drinking, taking
Drugging.
drugs, and
Mhm.
just or getting really bad, hysterical, overreactive, and then we're really not very alert or awake. We're kind of overwhelmed by our emotions and all of that negativity. But here's five, and this is just five. I'm not saying this is, the whole thing about awareness. But the first thing that strikes me is that this, on the simplest level, we have to be aware of what is happening to us. So, for example, and you would think that that would be simple.
Individually.
Yes. What is happening to us individually? So, as I say, you would think that that would be simple. I'm cold. I'm hungry. All right, so I'm aware of that. I'm cold. Well, unless we're so numbed out by what we're doing that we're not even aware that we're cold or hungry, which can happen to us when we're on drugs or we're so stressed that we're not even aware of the state of our own bodies, even, much less the state of our minds, right? So the first level of awareness I want to talk about is we got to woke up here to what is our situation. Now, let's say, for example, you are going blind, but you don't want to admit it because it's too threatening. So you start bumping into things. The next thing you know, you can have an accident, but you don't admit that you're losing your vision. I mean, that is a very simple level of awareness, that it is shocking how little we pay attention to what is happening to us physically. But there's another comment, honey.
Oh, Nashat has another
Yes.
comment. Beth and James, my beautiful, love you both so much. This morning is great with you.
Oh, so
Thank you,
happy.
Nashat.
He's in Lebanon at the moment, I think, and maybe it's morning there, but it's
I guess so.
it's about evening here.
Mhm.
So, okay, so let's take a look at that. We are often not aware of what is even happening to us physically. Like, oh, I'm becoming addicted to alcohol, or, I'm not sleeping well. So, or I'm sleeping too much. There are so many simple levels that we are not even aware of on that very simple what is happening to us. I don't want to admit that I'm getting older. I don't want to admit that I can't lift the same weight that I was able to lift before. And what happens when I don't want to admit that? I try to do things that I can't do, and I damage myself and often others. And if I drive and I'm too tired, I could kill people in my car, in the car next door, and we could have an accident, and there could be 35 cars behind me stacked up, right? Okay, so the first level is awareness of what is happening to us. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the second level of awareness I want to talk about. So let's woke up to that, to what's happening to us, right? Looks
Oh, Buffy says, become aware of yourself before it's too late. Amen.
right on, Buffy. Right on. Okay, now the second level of awareness is also about us, but now I'm talking about being aware of what is happening to us on the inside. So, for instance, I might be aware that I'm angry. I might not even be aware that I'm angry. Did I say hello to Buffy, or did I just comment?
You responded to her
Oh,
comment.
good. Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm a little tired. I am not a little tired. I am like extraordinarily overtired tonight. So don't expect. So now, for somebody who wants to be woke,
Yeah, we did
so-
an out-of-town trip today.
yeah, and we had a whole bunch of stuff this morning, and we just got home, and I'm really tired. But anyway, I'm very happy to be with you today, tired or not. So the second thing is to be aware of what's happening inside us. So I may be aware that I am angry, but I may not be aware of why I am angry. I might be blaming this, or I might be blaming that. Or I might not be aware that I'm greedy myself, or I feel insecure and I'm bluffing. Not an insult to Buffy, it's Bluffy. I may not be aware that I'm resentful. and that is very unpleasant to be around. Or I might be unaware that I'm afraid. Or
One of
I'm,
my favorites is I'm unaware that I'm anxious, and then I try to act like I'm not.
oh, that's right.
I cover it up.
That's right. Cover up, cover
Cover
up,
up.
cover up. So back to Buffy, become aware of yourself. Yes. So not only what's happening to you, but what is going on inside you. That is very challenging because then we have to admit that there is something going on inside us.
Right.
I mean, most of us just want to think like, oh, the world is messed up, but I'm okay. Right? Well, probably not, because to me, you are the world that's messed up, and to you, I am the world that's messed up. But to us, he is the world. It's everybody else is the world that's messed up, except for us. So we really, really need. So people don't want that. So there's like, we can't be aware of that. We can't be aware. And if you want to talk about politics, which I said I wasn't going to talk about, this is not politics. This is history. It's just simple history. We don't want to be aware of what's going on in our world. And that's number 3 level of awareness. We don't want to be aware of what's happening for other people. I don't either, honestly. Oh my God, there's an outbreak of dengue fever somewhere. It's like, I can't even handle my accounts. I don't know how I'm going to file my taxes this year. But we don't want to know what's happening to the climate. Most people, there's so many areas. Okay, so maybe you want to know about what's happening to the climate, but you don't want to know what's happening to children or trans kids or people with different opinions or people that... I can't even take it in. What is happening to all these people? Also, on a very personal level, I don't want to know what's happening to you. Here's a perfect example of that. I'm tired. So, if I'm tired, do I want to be aware that you're tired too?
Nope.
No. Why not? Because then I might have to push myself beyond what I think I'm capable of. Because, oh no, I just want to think that, all right, if I'm tired, you can handle it. Or if you're, you've done this to me too. We've all done this to each other. I'm scared of confronting that, so you do it.
Right.
Right. I'm too traumatized to do that, to handle that. So whatever it is, but I love the tired part because I'm always tired. So I always think that James most definitely is not as tired as I am. Now, I don't really know that, do I? I don't even want to
You
know.
wouldn't like to think that.
So let's say I am super aware of the suffering of homeless people or unhoused people, as some people would prefer to say. All right. Supposing I am super aware of that, but maybe I don't want to be aware of how exasperated, frustrated, overwhelmed are the people who are trying to take care of the situation. So we have, let's say, a task force on homelessness, and they're not getting the job done. So whose pain am I going to focus on? The homeless people or the people who don't know what to do about it or have tried different things and it blows up in their face? So I decide what I'm going to be aware of. And I'm not going to be aware of the rest, right? So let's say like in this whole thing about trans people, do we want to know if... Maybe you don't want to know how it feels to be a child who feels trapped in the wrong gender. Maybe you just don't want to know that, right? Because you only care about your child, who doesn't want to know about anybody else's suffering or could be upset. Now, I remember when I was a young child, not like 5, but more like, 8, 9, and I told a little girl about the menstrual cycle. She was traumatized. I don't know why she was traumatized. I had just learned about it because I was curious. And so she went running to her parents, and her parents never let me see that girl again because I upset her by talking about the menstrual cycle. So instead of sitting down with that little girl and telling her that there's nothing wrong with that that's just part of life, and that she's going to find out about it, just like they said, oh, they want to protect their child from this knowledge. But are they concerned about me?
Not at all.
Not at all. They don't care that they've now impacted my life by supporting that little girl to turn against me. Right? So,
and by the way, we have another message. Nashat sends an image of lots of hearts of love to us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Same to you.
Yes.
Nashat.
Yes, indeed.
Lots of love.
And so, in fact, we don't want to, but there are so many wars and there are so many areas where people are refugees and are suffering. It's like, how much can we, remember, there are Syrian refugees. Oh, there are Palestinians who have no home. There are people who are still suffering from anti-Semitism. There are, destroyed villages in the Ukraine. There's like, So I've been giving some examples of why it's overwhelming to be aware. And then we haven't even talked about people who are suffering from disabilities, illnesses, mental illnesses. Like I said, do I really need to be that aware? I don't think so. I think woke is terrible. I don't think we should be aware of anybody suffering except my own. See, just this weekend I came up with an idea for the able-bodied movement, for them to take revenge against the handicapped, because I am handicapped, right? And I have a handicap placard, on our vehicle, which I cannot drive. And I'm pretty totally disabled, right? But that means that we get the prime parking spots.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair? Isn't that reverse prejudice?
Even if you have to use a wheelchair?
Absolutely. It is, that to me is as ludicrous as some of the other stuff is going on about, whites are being discriminated against. Oh, come on. White people are not discriminated against, except maybe some black people hate them, which I can understand. But I can understand that white people may feel like they're not getting their needs met. I don't have any problem with that. But it's not because black people are getting their needs met instead of you.
Right.
So that's just as absurd as saying that the able-bodied need to take back the parking spots from the disabled. Do you see the point that I'm making? And yet we have to all be aware. Like, I, as a disabled person, need to also be aware of the needs of the able-bodied, or so-called able-bodied, because I don't think people are all that able-bodied. A lot of elderly people are struggling, or people are ill, or so, what do we do about creating a society that works better for everybody? That's what awareness would give us. We start to be aware of everybody suffering, and we realize we have to build a better world. No, I just want to fight for me, right? So, and then on top of this, I have to be aware of what's going on inside the minds of all the people around me and what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I don't want to know that. I want to think that everybody is sane except me, who's tender and sensitive. Either that, or everybody needs to know that I am more sensitive than they are, or they need to become more sensitive because I'm the only sane one in the group. So I think I'm the only sane person, which is not true, or I think that I am more sensitive than anybody else and my needs need to be taken care of first. I mean, let's face it, this is the me first movement. I want to go back for a minute to the lack of awareness. This whole thing about critical race theory, it is, to me, it's so stupid. I studied history. That's what I studied in school, in college. Everybody has negative stuff in their history. Whatever group you come from, somebody has discriminated against somebody or has hurt people or, built all their wealth on the slave trade. And then, let's face it, it's so obvious. When I was a child and I turned on the television set, when we got one, I saw black people as stupid because that's the way they were presented. That's a fact. That's not a theory. That's a fact.
You saw it in all the movies, too.
I thought in the movies. Either stupid or violent or something like that. I mean, come on. Don't you know that that is true? Or that Jews were like, greedy or whatever it was. Or they didn't even exist, in the movies. Even though you had Jewish actors, they didn't admit they were Jewish. They didn't look Jewish. They made sure they didn't look Jewish until Barbara Streisand came on. So, I mean, let's face it. These things are true. This is true. That doesn't mean you have money or you're comfortable or you're getting what you need. It just means that these people had certain kinds of discriminatory practices against them. And let's all get together and try to stop all of it and try to create a world where we all take care of each other. But hey, that's too much. It's much better for us to complain about one another and fight each other for crumbs. That makes a lot more sense, doesn't it?
I think I'd rather have woke up.
You'd rather woke up. Okay, let's all woke up. So now, number five.
Number 5?
Number 5 level of awareness. So shall I reiterate? It's be aware of what's happening to me, like I'm going blind or I'm getting old or I'm losing my marbles and then maybe I shouldn't be making all these decisions myself. But I have to start becoming more aware of what's going on inside me when I have resentment and why. Even better to really start going into self-awareness and going into counseling and learning about ourselves and transforming ourselves. Then we need to start becoming aware that everybody's struggling. And then, so we have to start being aware of what's happening to everyone at all kinds of levels, in all geographic centers and all kinds of people. And then we have to be aware that they also are having internal struggles. They're angry at me. This person's angry at me, and that they are impacting me by their unconsciousness. Their greed, and it's like, oh, I have to wake up to the fact that the world is not all roses and that people are messed up and need help. So number 5 is we need to be aware of how we are impacting other people. No!
And the rest of the planet.
And the rest of the planet. One day I woke up with this idea for a short story called The Day the Coyotes Asked for the Vote. And it was very funny, but it's kind of sad that, we have been encroaching on the territory of the rest of the natural world, because we are also part of the natural world. Shocking, but true. And where are they supposed to go? And what are they supposed to do? And they have no vote. I don't remember them coming to the city council meeting and agreeing that the land use should change, and now there should be 24,000 more condominiums on the land that the coyotes used to live in. You see, we all, collectively and individually, have an impact on everything. Now, why would I want to be aware of that? That gets in the way of my selfishness, self-centeredness, and my own vulnerability. Because the fact is, it's not that I'm a bad person. It's just like I don't have enough of what I need either. So I don't even want to know you need something.
And by the way, we have another comment. Juma says, good morning.
Good morning,
from
honey.
On the other side of the world.
Also from India, I believe. So thank you for coming, and we hope that you go back and do a replay so you can see what I'm talking about. So that's what woke is to me. It's like wake up, stop being in a daze. And I mean, there are so many levels of awareness, but I was just talking about some big, general levels of awareness. We need that. Let's stop attacking people who are trying, at least, to figure out how to make this world work for everybody. And stop making that into a dirty word or a dirty concept. Like, oh, that's a liberal, or that's a conservative, or that's a right winger, or that's a left winger, or there's a communist. God forbid there's a communist or a socialist or whatever. Come on, guys. We have real problems to deal with.
Right.
Right? So let's all wake up. Let's all become woke.
Yeah.
Let's reclaim that word for awareness. So if somebody says, this is the war on wokeness, we say,
And let's come together to create a world that works for all of us.
absolutely. So if somebody is doing a war on woke, you say, why would you do that? Why wouldn't we have a war for awareness? Why not struggle for awareness for every one of us? Self-awareness, other awareness, planetary awareness. And when we're all together trying to solve our problems, it's not so daunting, it's not so scary, right? It's beautiful. And so somebody accuses you of being woke, say, well, thank you. That's quite a compliment. Would you like to join us? And I want to be more aware of the impact that I am having on you and why you're freaking out about what I'm saying and doing, right? More awareness, more awareness. That's always the answer, guys. More awareness. So I think I'd better stop because we're running out of time. This is Lighting the Way, Granny Raps and Rocks. We ask you to please like this show, love this show, share this show. If you think that people need more awareness and need to be looking at these issues, please share this with your friends. I mean, it doesn't go anywhere without you, right? Be woke about that. And let's really start reclaiming that word as a word of awareness, which is something that we all need. And not like, love the show, share the show, comment if you haven't come live. I will respond to you if you weren't here live. I will respond to you in the comments. And come back next Wednesday. We have another Granny Raps and Rocks Lighting the Way show.
And isn't there another program tomorrow night?
There is tomorrow night. We have Magical Improvs. Beth Green and the Healing Arts Band, where he and I improvise, and sometimes we improvise together, and it's wonderful. And that's at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So put up your feet or wash the dishes when you're listening, whichever you can, and get the soothing, uplifting vibes of our show every Thursday night.
Yes, 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Magical Improv. So, Lighting the Way Wednesday night, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Magical Improvs, 7 p.m. Pacific time
On Thursday.
Thursdays. So we love you. We thank you so much for your support.
Yes, wonderful to have you with us.
And we really want to turn this around, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Thank you for coming.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.